For Tree, he's one of my favorite guys. Tim actually did his skill bridge with us way back when, I don't know how many years ago, 4 years or something. Um, and served, was it 11 years in the Air Force?
Yep.
Um, Probably if you look at all the techies to come out of the Air Force, this guy is at the top of that list. I mean, he is one of the most accomplished in his field that you will find. And just a true like Renaissance man. We graduated high school at age like 8 or something ridiculous. I don't know what it is, but he's a New York Times bestseller. He has like 50 plus certifications in tech, four-time Grammy-winning musical producer, jujitsu black belt. He's one to make us you stand back in awe when you hear this guy's story. But he's the principal security architect at Arctiq, which is one of the top tech consulting firms in the country. They do cloud, DevOps, cyber, and just an all-around great guy. Every time I reach out to him, he drops everything to come by and help and talk with you guys and share his story and just some of the lessons he's learned over the years in transitioning and having success in corporate America. So Tim, thank you, buddy, for coming on again.
Of course, man. You know I always got you.
Tell everyone a little bit about yourself, about growing up, because it's a fascinating story, and then service and how you headed down this path in tech.
So like Jordy mentioned, right? I graduated high school at 15. Um, from there, I tried to figure out what I wanted to do with my life because nobody wanted to hire a 15-year-old in Chicago. So I waited until I turned 17. I turned 17 on a Friday. That very following Monday, I was in the recruiter's office and I told him exactly what job I wanted, which was 3DOX, 3 cybersecurity. I think they transitioned to 1D7 now. But I told him what I wanted before I even took the prep ASVAB, and he looked at me kind of like, "You get what I give you based off of what you score when you go in here and take it." So I went in there and I scored a 99, and I came out and I was like, "Does this mean I can get what I want now?" And he was like, "You can have whatever job you want." So I went, took the actual ASVAB, got the same score. I waited about 8 months before I went to basic training. Uh, and I went in for cybersecurity. I It was funny because when I went through my background investigation, I didn't have any friends or anything to list as like references. So when the investigator came back and said, "You got to list somebody," and I said I didn't have anybody, they went to all my family members to verify. And it was pretty sad because it was like, now you're pretty much exposing that I don't have any friends. But I got over it. My first duty station was Nellis Air Force Base out here in Las Vegas. I moved my mom out here to be close to her again. So now this is home. But I was at Nellis. Then I went to Incirlik. I deployed a few places. While I was at Incirlik, I oversaw all the nuclear crypto material while I was out there. Then I transitioned to Aviano out in Italy, where I was the section chief for the Tactical Operations Center for the 606, the Air Control Squadron. From there, I transitioned to being the ISM for all of Aviano. And then I PCS to Joint Base Anacostia Bowling, where I ended up being the essentially CISO for the JOX network out there in the National Capital Region for a little bit, where I got to work with the people in the Pentagon, got to be a cyber advisor for the White House. So it was pretty fun. But that was kind of where I was like, hey, I'm coming up on this 10-year mark. And I know that people say you either gotta S or get off the pot. So I was just like, I'll get off the pot. They pay more on the outside. So funny enough, I went in and applied for Skill Bridge, and Jordy reached out to me the very next morning over text, saying that he had a position for me with a company called ViperSock. And it moved so fast. I had heard horror stories of people saying, it took forever to find somewhere to skill bridge with, and Jordy really just made the process super easy for me. And ViperSock was super welcoming because initially they brought me in as an analyst, But very shortly after, Jay, who was the director of operations, there was like, "Hey, you want to be my CISO?" And I was like, "Sure." So uh, I got to be the CISO for him. We helped stand up a fusion center down in Puerto Rico. We got to work with a few cool clients, and from there, I transitioned to being a fractional CISO for Airbnb, Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, McDonald's. Helped stand up the SOC for Tinder, uh, which is funny because I helped them become more secure, but I'm still insecure in my dating life. So that's a funny story for me to always have a conversation around my mom. Uh, and then after that, I transitioned to a company called Crow, where I led their cybersecurity assessment department for their financial services industry vertical. So I got super familiar with all the regulations and compliance narratives in the financial services realm. After that, I left to go lead GRC for the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. So all of the care providers, insurance providers in that ecosystem, I got to work with them. And then now, after I left CMS, I wasn't working for anybody at the time because I was like, I don't need to work. uh, so I was on a book tour and I was giving a presentation, and one of the individuals in the leadership team here at Arctiq was like, "Hey, you want to come be a huge part of our security practice and help build it out?" And I was like, "Sure, that sounds fun." So now I lead security for the pre-sale side for all of the US for us. And I get to go out and share all of the fun stories that we do. Like right now, I'm the fractional CISO for Treasure Island. So if you've ever been to Vegas and stayed at Treasure Island Casino or Hotel, I lead their security strategy. I'm the cyber advisor to the governor of Nevada because I turned down the state CISO role. So I get to help set some of the security narratives for the state of Nevada. And then I get to do a whole bunch of other cool stuff.
Thank you for sharing all that, man. Talk a little about your music background and tell, I think people will find that interesting and what you.
So as you could probably see, I got a couple plaques behind me right there, and then there's a couple over there. Let's see if it will. Well, yeah, so right there. uh, and then I have a couple on the floor. I do know the CIO for Nevada, Tim Galuzzi. We were actually just on interviews trying to identify who the new state CISO was going to be. Him and I are really good friends. He's a jarhead, so he's
Yeah,
great.
me and him, we were sergeants together in the Marine Corps.
Oh,
So he's been trying to put me in Nevada, but I live in Florida, and I'm sorry, brother. I'm not gonna move from Florida to Nevada for
you
you.
you
Good
got
friend of mine,
you got
great
to.
dude.
He's building out a great team out here. Hey, you got to make the move, buddy.
I just came from San Diego, so
He's worth it. He's worth it. um, let's see. So for music stuff, I've been producing music since I was 13. My mom bought me a keyboard, and that was the start of the story. So I've been working with artists, making beats for them. So as you can see, I've worked with Travis Scott, Chris Brown, and Drake, Ariana Grande. I produced some of the scores for God of War Ragnarok, the video game, Lilo and Stitch, Elio, the final season of The Walking Dead. I helped produce the initial score for that. Um, yeah, I've kind of
That's
been.
super cool. Put on something everyone will. You have anything handy you can play
I
that
don't
people will know?
I don't know how the speakers will pick it up, but
Put
uh,
on something.
that one is Sicko Mode by Travis Scott and Drake. The one below it is No Guidance by Chris Brown and Drake. One of the very first songs that I produced that I think a lot of people that are familiar with rap and R&B know, Don't by Bryson Tiller. I produced that song. Um, yeah, I've been around for a
Is that
while.
is that a monitor behind you? Is that
Oh,
like?
this? Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
monitor.
Holy moly.
And then I got two right here, and then I got the three on this screen.
That is super cool. What is it like? It just shows your one computer screen, or you have multiple ones pop up on that? It's like
So For this one, let's see. It just has like the really long display. So I could put a few different displays in
Yeah,
there. So I could put Word towards the center and then I could put two other ones towards the outside. It's just an ultra wide monitor.
that is super cool. How talk like you were involved in so many things. First of all, how do you have the time to do all these things, right? And
So
why do you have so many hobbies and interests, and how do you feel that's helped your career?
I think one thing that kind of helped all of it is being in music and making that kind of my passion helps me think outside of the box when it comes to cybersecurity. One thing that's made me like really successful in my career, a lot of people hate security, and a lot of the times it's for good reason because security is just the people that tell them no. A philosophy that I took very early on in my career was I'll say yes if, right? It's always a yes. There's sometimes where it's like an absolute no, like get out of my face. Why are you coming to me with this? But majority of the times it's yes if. And people are a lot more receptive to you and they trust you a lot more and they're willing to provide give you that buy-in and support when they know that you're willing to make things move to enable them to be great as well. Um, and even with AI becoming so much more prevalent now, saying yes if is definitely the way to go because you want to be able to support organizations in scaling innovation without scaling fragility. Uh,
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the whole timepiece, that's something that people ask a lot, man. I got the same 24 hours in a day. People think that I don't sleep. I actually sleep a lot. I'm very big on healthy living, so I sleep a lot. Um, I think the thing with me, and I wrote an article about it that's on my LinkedIn as well. If you ever go back through my articles that I post on LinkedIn, if you follow me, I did an article about how I fit so much into one day. A huge part of it is I have Asperger's, so technically I'm on the spectrum, but it supports me in being able to, focus on things dynamically and identify what brings the most value in the near term versus the long term so that way I could prioritize it as necessary.
Yeah, that's awesome. What talk to the people on the call. Listen, some of them want to go down the cyber tech route, others don't. What are some of the lessons you can give them or tips or strategies for how do they find what they want to do? How do they promote themselves? What you're really good at networking. Like I'm sure you're not sending out resumes. People now know who you are and they find you. And how do you get to that stage?
So if you're just starting off in cybersecurity, like you're transitioning into the field after separating and that wasn't your career field while you were in, and I'll go over each of the different paths. At this point, what you want to start doing is showcasing the hack the box sessions that you do, the conferences that you attend. Start writing thought leadership that show your viewpoint and perspective on the new and emerging concepts in the cybersecurity industry to one, show that you're a thought leader, but two, show that you have that foundational and practical understanding of what those concepts are and how they're applied to enterprise or small to medium sized businesses. That's how you kind of get into the field.
But
Um,
that could work. That could work for any field. Like just start being training yourself to be a thought leader and do that research and
for
share it,
sure.
right?
Um, then you also got internships, externships. One big thing that I always recommend to people, go to nonprofits and offer to do pro bono cybersecurity work for them, right? A lot of them, they don't have cybersecurity people full time, they don't have part time people that can support them. Go to them and offer them a risk assessment. Go to them and offer to help them understand what their crown jewels are as they support the community. So that way you can sell them on the value of protecting all of the data that they bring in on a day-to-day basis. Because at that point, you're enabling them to tell the community, hey, we care about your information, so much so to the point that we're taking these steps and actions to protect it, right? So that way you can include that information in your resume and people will be like, okay, even though you aren't in the field in a full-time position, you're out there and you understand how to apply these concepts in different industry verticals. Now, people that are already in the field can take that approach too. But if you're already in the field and you're trying to figure out exactly what path you want to pursue, please understand that there is more than just offensive security. Do not just try and go, we need more than pen testers. It's kind of like when you see people in social media and everybody's trying to be a rapper or in the stock game or something like that. We need plumbers and electricians. Right? We need blue teamers. We need people that are playing in the GRC space. We need technical writers. We need people that understand cloud security. AI engineers and AI architects are becoming a huge thing right now where organizations are hiring people to specifically support AI initiatives, right? So this is just an example, right? If you were to go out right now and write a full scale AI policy or governance template that organizations can adapt and adopt, that would be greatly beneficial to any organization that comes across your page and they see how you're turning something that's just a strategy conversation into operationalization, right? You're bridging a gap for them that they may not have the internal resources to be able to support.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're in the field, just know that it's not just pen testers, right? And you don't have to just start off as a pen tester. But if you're going for certifications and everything, and like Jordy mentioned, last time I checked, now I have 87 certs. All of them are active. So my dues that I pay every year are ridiculous, but I never have to worry about having enough CEUs because they all overlap in some way, except for my pole climbing certification. Don't ask me why I have a pole climbing.
What? Pole climbing? Like a fireman?
Like electrical poles.
Oh, oh, oh.
The Air Force paid for it, so I took it. Right.
Do you like do a cert in like a tenth of the time it takes most people to get through it?
Oh, so for CISP, and please don't take this recommendation. Please do not take this recommendation. I did not study for CISP. Uh, Jay, who, like I mentioned, was the director of operations for ViperSoc, he was like, "Hey, I know you did all this stuff in the Air Force, but like one of the contracts that we want to bid on requires CISP. So can you go take CISP?" And then I was like, "Sure. When do I need it by?" He was like, "You need to have it by the end of the month." And it was like the second week of the month. So he gave me like 10 days to study for it and everything. And now because it's so far gone and me and Jay are really good friends now, I play video games that entire 10 days. And I went, got this SP, and it was amazing because it validated a lot of the knowledge that the Air Force gave me while I was still in. But please make sure you study. Just don't overstudy, because when you overstudy, you start brain dumping the stuff that you actually do need to retain to go in and show that you understand how to apply all of those concepts.
Yeah.
When it comes to pen testing certs, and I'm going to be very transparent about this. Me personally, as a hiring manager, I don't necessarily care about Pen Test Plus and CEH. I care more so about OSCP. I care more so about application pen testing, whether it's web app pen testing, mobile app pen testing. I care about, hey, do you know about prompt engineering and prompt injection for AI models now? Because a lot of organizations are building their own agents and deploying them. So what can you give me or add value to my organization on that front? That's what I care about from the pen testing perspective. Outside of that, other certs for you to get, obviously Security Plus is the door opener for a lot of conversations and positions. But outside of that, really just pick what lane you want to pursue, right? If you want to go down the cloud route, you have to commit to that, right? Whether it's committing to one specific cloud, whether it's Microsoft, AWS, or Google, or if you become a generalist of cloud security and understand the entire spectrum. And that ties to what we kind of do at Arctiq a bit. We support all of the different cloud infrastructures, but we make sure that we have a full Microsoft practice where all they do is Microsoft stuff, right? We have a Google Cloud security practice where all they support is Google SecOps as far as the SIM goes. So it's just understanding what brings you the most happiness, or if you care more about money, go out and do the research of what pays the most. It varies sometimes from industry to industry, but the positions that typically pay the most are going to be your architects, the people that can design end-to-end solutions because they've done it in the past. Those are going to be those positions that pay the most.
Where do you think the opportunities are for the folks on the call here who do want to go into tech and they're just looking for that first job to get their foot in the door? Where are the easiest hires?
So this shameless plug, Arctiq always has positions that they're posting. Uh, right now, we're ramping up a SOC in Nashville, or actually, I think they just moved it to Franklin, Tennessee. And then we have another SOC in Albany, New York. We have a couple SOCs in Canada, but we're hiring SOC analysts. So if you want to sit there and live and breathe the SIM triage and alerts, doing lightweight incident investigation, those are remote positions. I know they have kind of a preference for being in the Nashville, Tennessee area, but the SOC is completely remote. I'm remote, though I'm based out of Vegas. We have an office out here, but I'm remote. And another plug, I'm hiring specifically for somebody to work directly with me on my team on the pre-sale side, supporting our client directors and positioning our security services and designing solutions. I'm looking more so for a senior strategist, somebody that understands the full cybersecurity spectrum, has good public speaking skills, which I'm not necessarily as concerned about with our military people because we get public speaking drilled into us. But you'd be surprised how that alone sets you apart from people that didn't serve in the military. We're able to speak publicly a lot better than they can. Their verbal pauses are horrendous.
Luis, go ahead, buddy.
Hey, Tim. I think for first, now you mentioned about hiring. I think I'm your guy. I have done sales and stuff like that in the Marine Corps, recruiting. So I'm public speaking, but that's just a joke. You mentioned something about the AI, and this is the thing that I've been trying to tell individuals, right, and myself, right. Mm-hmm. I have not seen, correct me if I'm wrong, no certifications that are related to like AI developer, AI engineering, stuff like that. The only thing that I have seen is basically people like us, right, that have learned since the foundation of AI how to prompt correctly, how to create those LLMs, or there's AI bots that will help your systems to become more efficient, right, and be able to automate your work and give you a better product, right? For the general population, right, that is afraid of making the changes, right, or kind of I won't say afraid. It's just the unknown of the AI, right? What is the best course, or what is the best advice that you can give them for them to start knowing the basics and fundamentals? Because I'm telling you, like when ChatGPT came up, I was one of those that as soon as I came up, I was just playing with it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then I started going at agentic AI, and then you mentioned other things that I have in the military now. Came out with the Gen AI and Ask Sage and all that different models that comes in for us to perform, right? Mm-hmm. But nobody wants to try it. It's just what would be your advice for them to break the ice and be better in the future?
So certification wise, CompTIA recently dropped their cert. I think I saw somebody mention it in the chat. They even had a window where if you were junior enough in the cybersecurity field that you could qualify for it. And don't ask me how I know that, because I went and I tried to see if I could get it through the beta Or like they want people within a certain experience range. ISO has their own AI certification that they offer training in. And then there's a company called Accolade, AKYLADE, and they have an AI GRC certification as well. I actually helped develop it. So they got some really good questions on the test. I promise they aren't crazy hard, but the study material is amazing. Now, when it comes to what you can do to kind of get your foot in the door and gather that understanding, oh yeah, I got my hands in everything, right? Like I try to make sure I'm not caught off guard by any new emerging technology or concepts. But like we talked about, the prompt engineering, uh, a really big one is understanding the identity and access implications around agentic AI. A lot of organizations are deploying agents, and you'd be surprised. A key part of my role is whenever our partners or new partners or vendors come to us and they're like, hey, we want to partner with Arctiq so that way you guys can build service delivery capabilities around our product and resell for us and everything. Um, I was the one that gave him his shield, actually. But if you understand all of those implications, a lot of the times when I ask vendors, hey, how do you train your model? Or, hey, where's the data actually stored at? Very few of them can answer that question, right? And what's even worse is there's a lot of vendors that aren't even doing research on other vendors in the space that they're developing solutions in, because everybody's just in this mad dash to develop as many AI centric solutions as possible, to where there was one vendor who's in our partner ecosystem that sent me an email yesterday morning saying that they believe that they're the only people in the industry that are identifying agents that their users are leveraging and applying risk scores to it and able to do prompt sanitization. So they were a little bit saddened when I came back to them and gave them a laundry list of other products that do that exact same thing. But I also cheered them up with, hey, here's how you do a couple of things better. So just studying the landscape, right? One thing that I tell every organization is AI isn't its own pillar, right? It touches every other cybersecurity pillar within the organization. It touches data. It touches identity and access management. It touches endpoint security. It probably touches your data center if you're leveraging anything in the data center to optimize your resources, right? So people can't treat it as a silo, and a lot of organizations do today. So one thing you can do to kind of get your foot in the door and show you have that understanding is building out those governance foundations around explainability and transparency when leveraging models or LLMs or agents.
Tim, this is amazing. Every time you come on, man, I learn something new about you. This
I
is
got you every time, man.
Guys, I put Tim's LinkedIn is in the chat there. Please connect to him. He's a really good guy to know and be in your have in your corner. Um, Thank you again so much for doing this. We truly appreciate you. Congrats on all your success, man. It's so well deserved, man. You're one of the hardest working guys I know. So
I appreciate it, man. I'm always here to help.
you
Uh,
got it.
you know, if for anybody that chooses to follow me on LinkedIn or interact with me on LinkedIn, please, any of the articles that I drop, you'll see people that are hiring engage with them. Go poach them. Go follow them and say, hey, I'm in cybersecurity. Take some of the articles that I'm writing and revise them and turn them into something that you want to speak about on your LinkedIn, right? Leverage what I'm sharing out there so that way you can grow your base as well. And I'll repost it, right? I'll comment on it. I'll let you know where you could really lean in on certain things. So Yeah,
That's
always check
great,
out.
man. You're such a good friend to the community, man. We thank you so much, Tim. Appreciate you coming back on again, and we will definitely be in touch with in a few months.
For sure.
All
Catch
right,
y'all.
buddy. Take care, man. All right, that is a wrap. I'll stay on for another half hour if anyone has any questions or you want to do other stuff. If not, just fill out that end of day form and you can bounce. And yeah, he's, as you guys saw, man, he's a special guy. I mean, he's one in a million to have the knowledge that he has and the the smarts to understand that field. It's so much of it is just over my head, but um he's there to be a resource for you, man. Don't somebody wrote like, how do I set up an informational meeting with him? Like the same way you do with anybody. People like that are more than happy to give back. They all got help going on the way up by somebody, and I'm telling you, they want to pay it forward, but you just have to ask. In a do it in a way that respects them. Don't make the common mistake a lot of people do. A lot of people now, after hearing a guy like that, and he says, "Oh, I have openings here. I'll help people get hired out here at Arctiq," they will go right at him with a resume. Hey, I just heard you. Hey, thanks for sharing. Hey, here's my resume. Hey, you have a job for me? What's the smarter way to do it? What do you guys think?
I think the best way
Build the
to
Like,
approach. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me raise my hand.
no, go ahead. Whoever was just speaking, go ahead. I didn't say.
Um, yeah, so I'm sorry. It's just I think the best way to approach is knowing the person better, for that person to know you a little bit more. What are you looking for? Your requirements, right? And then they will guide you through, because most of the time we come over and say, I want this job, right? Without connecting. It's just building that rapport between
Got
you
it.
and the other person, to be able for them to trust you enough to be able to say, you know what, this job that you want is not for you, but I have something better for you,
Yes.
and guide you to the right direction.
Yeah, exactly what Luis said. Just go slow, please. Go slow. Don't rush it. Don't rush the relationship. Just almost like continue on this conversation with him, right? Somebody else was going to speak. And also one other thing I want to mention about him. Do you guys notice how fun it is to like talk to him? He constantly laughs, he makes fun of himself. He just has a good time. That is so important. So important to build those relationships with people. He's not all serious all the time. He just, I don't know. Who else? Somebody else was saying something with him.
Yeah, I was saying building that relationship first. I mean, I was
Yeah,
just looking into LinkedIn and you actually had just posted something in regards to that. You just need to build that relationship first in order
yeah.
to move forward and eventually get to that mentorship and ask for items. But first building up that relationship is so important.
And you could forget Tim, you could do it with thousands of other people. You want a job in marketing at Garda, you want a job as a dietitian or a project, whatever. Fill in the blank. Find somebody who has achieved a level of success in that area and reach out to them. But do not do what every other job seeker does, which is they go at them with the ask. Hey, you hiring? Hey, here's my resume. Don't do that. Just step it back a little. If you build a relationship with Tim, like Tim, I just heard you speak at Seven Eagle, man. I can't tell you how inspiring that was. I am so impressed by your path, how you got out of high school early and you've accomplished all these amazing things. Anytime you have 15, 20 minutes free, I would love to learn more about you and how you did it and what advice you might have for me. Just tell me when and where. I'll be there anytime, 7 days a week, and I'll make it happen. I know you're a busy guy. This would mean the world to me, right? Like keep him in the mentor role. Don't put him in the role of, oh, now I got to hire you. That will come. You got to trust me on this. That comes next. But if you know, you spend 20 minutes with him it's almost like a continuation of this, and just do what I was doing. Just ask him questions. Let him talk about his stuff. Even if you do nothing else but talk about his jujitsu or his music career for 20 minutes, and that's it. You watch what happens at the end of that. He's going to be like, he's going to know you're looking for work. It's very obvious. Hey, were you interested in working here? Can I make an intro for you? An introduction from him to the hiring manager will put you at the top of the list of being considered. But if you go at him like everyone else, hey, here's my resume, can you forward it along? It's a much different relationship. Now he'll probably forward your resume to the hiring manager, but that's it. He's going to say, "Oh, here's Jimmy's resume. Can you put him in the list?" Versus, I just met with this guy Luis for 20 minutes. I spent with, oh my gosh, he is awesome. I like this guy. He's got da 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 da. I think he'd be perfect. That's different than here's a resume. And that's what you want. You want that weighted recommendation, you know. Chris.
So, I mean, and everybody's kind of been hitting on it, but one of the best pieces of advice I've ever got about, making genuine connections with people is to just take an interest in their lives, right? So to ask questions, get them talking about themselves. Like with him, it's easy. He's got 1,000 different things that, I mean, he's obviously a very impressive person, but when it comes to, I find a job at XYZ company, and I go on LinkedIn, I look up the people that work there, I find somebody and I don't see anything that I could like, you know, and it's obviously it's professional. It's not like Instagram or Facebook,
Yeah,
at least
yeah.
not that I've seen so far, where people are movie reviews or I went and did this weekend. I'm like,
Right.
so my only thought, so the long-winded question I'm getting at here is if I don't have something that I can specifically hone in on and ask about, on a personal level, the only other thing I could think would be, hey, I notice you're on this field, you're at this company, I'm trying to get into the field. Any advice? That's
Perfect.
so.
Perfect. You said it perfectly. And don't get caught up on, oh, I want to, for example, I want to be a marketing executive. I don't see marketing director on LinkedIn. I can't find my boss. Do
Yeah.
it. It doesn't matter. You do it with anyone. You do it with Tim if you don't even want to go into cyber. He knows the person at Arctiq who hires for marketing, right? If not, he'll figure it out. And I guarantee you that recommendation will have weight behind it, right? But you said it perfectly. Just be like a sponge for information and go into it with not the expectation of it turning into a job, but going into it with what can I learn from this person? What can I learn from his journey? Right? He made it sound like, everyone's like, oh my gosh, this guy's so accomplished. I guarantee you this guy has had struggles throughout his life. You could see he's got, he's got some really special skills, but with that comes being 18-year-olds and not having a friend. So I'm sure he's struggled and I'm sure he would love to chat with you about something like, whatever. Just go
Yeah.
into it with this learning idea of how can I learn from him to help me get where I want to be further down the road. Not how can I go into it pretending to be interested in this guy's career so he can hopefully help me because he'll spot that. When I was little, I was probably like, I don't know, middle school, me and my brother, we had this great aunt who who we used to play this game with her. You'd be allowed to say one sentence to her, and then you weren't allowed to talk. And it was who can keep her talking the longest after that one sentence. And she'd go. I remember. I just remember this one time. She went out and spoke for like 10 minutes after my question, so I won. And you know what she says to my mom after this? She goes, "Oh, Jordy, he is such a great conversationalist." That was was her comment, which is like people love to talk about themselves. They love to give advice and mentorship. It's exactly why I love doing this so much. I love helping because the idea that maybe I can help somebody better with their career, make good decisions for their career to learn from my mistakes. That's so powerful. People love that. And you have to leverage that and give especially civilians an opportunity to help you. And there's in business, I'm generalizing, but sometimes the higher up you go in a company, the nicer the people, right? And why? Why does somebody who is the head of, a division at Coca-Cola going to be a really awesome person for you to ask for mentorship, because that person, I guarantee, is going to be nice. They're going to have a great personality. They're going to appreciate your grit and your desire to ask about their career and ask for a mentor, right? Most people see, oh, this VP at Coca-Cola, she's not going to want to talk to me. She's making $3 million a year. It's the exact opposite. It's like everyone gets intimidated by that, but my advice would be freaking go for it. Go right at those top people. Because what happened? What if the VP at Coca-Cola does not respond to you? Then what? Who cares? Who friggin' cares? You're never going to cross paths with them again in your life. They're not going to remember you. Who cares? But imagine if you ask 10 people, 100 people in that role, hey, I would love the opportunity to be mentored by you for 20 minutes. I'm not looking for a job. I'm so inspired by your journey, how you grew up poor and how you rose to this rank at VP at Coca-Cola. You do that and you're going to hit it, a few of them. I'm telling you, you are going to hit it because they're going to be like, you know what? I love this person's desire to ask me in the right way to be a mentor, not with the resume leading. And you do that. You have one conversation with a person like that, and your career, I'm telling you, it could change like that on a dime because one introduction, one recommendation from that person is a hire. It doesn't, I'm drinking Pepsi. Um, but just don't try not to be intimidated by this process and just know that it's so doable. It's not easy. I know you're dealing with the thought of like, ah, shit, I don't want to get rejected. I'm going to feel awkward. I know that's hard, but just if you can fight those urges and just friggin' go for it, figure out a creative way. How would you guys reach? Let's say the VP at Coca-Cola. She's not going to have a LinkedIn phone number and email. How would you reach that person? What would you do? You want to stand out. You want to be different. You want to be unique. How would somebody do that? 100 to get 100% success of her paying attention to you. What would you do? You can try to find an email address. You think she's reading her emails, or most likely not, as some assistant probably is, right? What would you do? Someone's got to have an idea. Come on. Go ahead, Michael.
I mean, I think it would take a little bit of detective work, but what I would do is, I would use LinkedIn, even though they might not have a LinkedIn profile, and find someone in their circle, and kind of do the long game and just network through them to be like, eventually, hinting out, oh, hey, could you get me
Yeah.
in touch with this person if you know them or whatever. Um,
You could try. Listen, there's no right answer to any of this stuff. It's just a crapshoot, right? You want to know what I would do if I had to reach the VP at Coca-Cola, who's a very famous and, you know, high up on the ladder there. What I would do is I'd record a video of myself, right? I'd write it out with ChatGPT. I write a script of a 1 minute video, right? And I'd obviously do a lot of research so I can personalize that video, like know where she went to college, know what, she played soccer in college, know what she studied. I don't know, whatever. I'm looking for something to make the video more appropriate, more focused to her, right? I'm grabbing a can of Coke while I'm doing it. I'm just like, Ellen, I am so grateful that you took a few minutes to watch this video of me. I'm getting out of the Air Force in a few months, trying to figure it all out. And there's nothing more I want to do than work in the beverage industry. And I am so inspired by your path of how you got to where you are. Go Hoosiers, and uh I'm looking for role models. I'm not looking for a job right now. I'm just looking. I would love to hear about how you how you navigated that. And I would be so honored for an opportunity. So if you could carve out 20 minutes of your day, I know you're super busy, but my whole life I grew up people telling me I couldn't do things. I could never work at Coke. That's not in realistic. People trying to tell me my dreams, my goals are too big for myself. I don't want to, I'm not letting any of those people stop me from this. I don't know. I'm pulling lines out of Rudy. But you get the idea. Whatever. I'm making the video, right? Then what? I made a little video. Now loading it to YouTube, getting a QR code, making a QR code of that, putting it on a sheet of paper like this with the big QR code, right? Putting it in a you know, here, let me just grab this. I'm just totally stiff up. Getting a box like this, getting a helium balloon, putting the helium balloon in the box, tying a string to the balloon. This is going on the bottom of the balloon, and I'm FedExing that box to her. I'm just saying crazy stuff. That I would, and I'm FedExing it to her office. What's going to happen? When she gets a FedEx at Coca-Cola headquarters addressed to her, it's a box like that. First of all, even if she doesn't open it, somebody's going to open it, right? An assistant of hers. It's going to be opened, 100%. And all of a sudden they open it, the balloon flies to the ceiling. Like, wait, what the hell is this? And this note is on it saying, "Hi, Ellen, um, I don't know, whatever. I'm not thinking correctly. Have you want to have I'm taking my shot. Please scan this QR code. You know, Jordy Kerr, US Air, I don't know, whatever. Somebody there, I guarantee you, is going to, out of curiosity, they're going to scan that QR code and then my video pops up. It might be an assistant, but I guarantee you that assistant's going to go show it to the person. That's what, like, I need you guys to have this, like, friggin' get out of my way. I am going to get the job I want at the company I want because that's how people get hired. You will be the talk of that company. You do something really aggressive like that. Professional, fun, aggressive, whatever. Or you can do what every other job seeker does and you can send your resume and apply on their job board, right? They will 100%, that woman at Coca-Cola, 100 out of 100 times will schedule a informational interview. It's not failing. Just because out of the like, oh my, I can't believe this person went to the lengths to just to meet with me, to hear my story. I can't believe they took that and they served in the military. Oh my God, the least, absolutely. I would be happy to set it up. And then you're going to get a call from her assistant saying, so and so would love to meet with you. You have to have that like confidence in yourself. I know it sounds crazy. A lot of people, when I say this to them, they're like, oh my God, there's no way I'm doing that, right? The best jobs go to the people who like take the shot, right? As my friend Rick Martinez says, he goes, swing for the fences or go sit on the bench. Pick one, you know? And what a cool story to say how you got hired at your first company. Wait, what does the whole thing cost you? $12 in a FedEx fee or whatever, right? But you just go slow. You got to trust that process and go slow with it. It will work if you go slow. And a job will be I promise you, there's going to be some good result at the end of that, right? Because what happens now? Let's just say let's say you do that. You have an informational interview with this woman at Coke. You don't talk about, I'm looking for, here's my resume. I want to work at Coke. You wait on that. You don't do that right away. The interview is more like what we just did with Tim. You're just chatting, letting him talk. You're building your relationship with her. You're getting her to like you. You're to look at you as somebody who's just like different than everybody else. Then you thank her publicly after, publicly or privately, whatever. You thank her in a very meaningful way, however you're going to do that. You end that informational interview with, hey, Ellen, would it be okay if I keep you up to date with my job search? I'm just trying to figure it all out. And I would love to just, just keep you in the loop if you're cool with that. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Here's my email. They're not going to say no to that. Then when you feel the time is right, before you, first you thank them right after, thank them. Number two is you take the advice they gave you. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by take the advice that she gave you in the informational interview? What do you guys think? Everyone who does an informational interview is going to say something, right? They're all going to, oh, you got to do this. You got to get this cert. You got to read this book. You got to change your whatever. They're going to say something like that. What do you think, Chris?
I was saying, do whatever they advise you to do. I mean, a small example that I had, I had reached out to one of the presenters, and they came back with some advice on closing messages. Like I'm used to putting very respectfully. It's just what I've done in the military.
Yeah.
So she said, she just suggested warm, say like warm regards or best or something. So in that response, I changed my closing, and I've been doing that. So just if they tell you to do something, do it. Yeah.
Yeah, like you write very respectfully, put a big X through it, right? Haha, very best year, whatever, make fun with it. But absolutely. But they might say, go watch a podcast, read this book. You close the loop then on that advice. Michael, go ahead, bud.
I was gonna say, I mean, if they give you advice, like you just said, it could be something as simple as watching a podcast, right? That kind of opens up a door for the future to reconnect with them and maybe discuss some of the things that they wanted you or suggested for you to look at. And it kind of shows them like, hey, this person actually cares enough to take the advice that I gave them and move forward with it, as opposed to just being like, yeah, I'll look into that, I'll do that, and then you just do nothing with it, and they're like, okay, well, obviously this guy doesn't care.
That's exactly
So
what it is. They want to know like what they just spent 20 minutes telling you about. They want to keep that good feeling going by like, oh my gosh, I told Michael to watch that podcast and he's shooting me an email back saying how much he loved that podcast and how I hope to think. It just makes them feel good about what they just did. That someone listened. Because so often in our lives we're giving advice to people and then it's like, was he even friggin' listening? I don't think any of that sunk in, right? And you just sort of left with, oh, okay, I just spent 20 minutes mentoring, and that's the last I ever heard from that person again. Was it worth it? So I just call it like closing the loop. Find something that's meaningful where you can give you some content to write about and let them know you did that. Danny. You might have jumped. Oh, wait, I can't hear you, bud. Put your audio.
Well, I was gonna say the same thing, but in a not your way, but I just conduct a follow-up basically and say, hey, I'm currently at this stage of what listen to the podcast from I listened to, I don't know, 15 minutes of it. This is what I got from it,
Perfect.
based on what you said. Really great advice. Can't wait to listen on it on the way back from work. I'm listening and I'm conducting another follow-up and let you know. And then we talk about it, however it is. Just a little follow-up.
You got it. Toby's like, oh my God, that's so cool that he actually did what I asked him to do, right? Then, all right, so I call it like there's steps, like one, informational interview, two, thank them for the informational interview, three, close the loop on some advice they gave you, four, could either be, depending on the person, if you're local, four is perfect for an in-person now. Even if you live in Atlanta and you reach out to her for an informational interview, do it on Zoom because it just shows her she can get out of it after 20 minutes. She's not sitting there for an hour with you. But now that you built that relationship, you have that foundation, now you can try to get in person, right? For coffee, do something quick. Don't do like lunch, but do coffee. All right. That could be if you're local, that could be the next step. Or if you feel the time is right, like you hit it off, you'll know when you are clicking with the person. You know when it comes from now you're no longer strangers, you're more like buddies, you're laughing a little bit together, right? She'll remember your name. You know when that happens, now you go for the ask. And the ask is either for OJT or for a job, depending on where you are in your stage. But it's like, Ellen, ever since we met 2 weeks ago, I haven't stopped thinking about Coca-Cola and how amazing it would be to work there. As I mentioned, I have 2 more months left of my SkillBridge journey. Man, I would, if there is any department, anything there where you think I could add value, I would be so honored for that opportunity to come do that. How is she going to say no to you then? How? A company with 60,000 people where they're hiring probably 20 people a day. Now you have a relationship. She's going to bat for you. She likes you. She respects you. You did it correctly, and that will be a job. If not with her, it's a phone call for her to somebody else to get you hired or to get you interviewed and a lot further down the steps. This stuff requires work. It's discipline. But as you're like sitting in these sessions with these connection speakers, some of them are going to be appropriate for you. Some of them you'll like. Some of them it's like, I can't listen to another one of these. That's fine. Just use that hour just doing this other stuff to get you closer to where you want to be. I'm doing a whole thing Friday. I'm going to do a session with you guys too, and I've been writing it. I got a little bit more to do, but I think it'll be good. It'll help you sort of strategize this whole process. There's so many great jobs in America. I feel, no, I shouldn't say it like that. I feel there are like 20% of the jobs in America are really amazing and good ones and ones where people love them and you get paid well. But the other 80% suck. I mean, it's like that 80-20 rule applies to everything. I don't want to see you guys get one of those crappy jobs. You don't have to, right? I feel the only reason people take those crappy jobs is because they're just like lazy. They're just taking the easy job that's there for them instead of coming up with something really unique way to get people at companies you want to work for to meet with you and network with you, and then you ask them for a position. They would much rather hire you than somebody, say, off the street. Because if you network your way there, you eliminate or reduce considerably the risk. Hiring is all about risk for the company doing the hiring, especially today with ChatGPT. It's hard to distinguish the superstar from the average worker or the one who's going to bomb, right? Have to quit or get fired. Really hard to distinguish that person because it's so easy to sort of game the system and make yourself look better than you are in the interview process and get the interview. But if you develop a relationship with someone, now let's say the woman at Coke, and you've met with her for a total of 40 minutes, whatever, and you've built almost like a friend there. Now it's not risky for her to go to the HR and say, hey, can you do me a favor? Please take a look at Isabel. We'll give her a shot. I met with her. She's awesome. I put my name behind her. They'll take that recommendation every day off as somebody who looks better on paper, who they don't know, who's just coming in unannounced almost. Like they applied to a job and they're now look great. They might have a better resume than you, but they got this like unpredictability about them. Like it's like, oh, they look good, but did they really go to Harvard? Did they really do this? Are they real, right? Versus I know this guy, I'm willing to vouch for this guy. I met with him, he's awesome. Because if they can eliminate the risk, it's worth it. Isabella, how was your interview? Share.
Hey guys. Jordy, as you know, I had one last week, but it didn't work out. But I had one earlier today at a vet clinic, and actually, our last speaker who was on, I stepped away to take a phone call because they called me back and said I got the job.
All
Um,
right.
I'm actually pretty excited about it because I wasn't supposed to hear back until next Friday, but they said that they were very excited, and so they called the doctor who owns the clinic, and
Yeah.
they were just like, "Well, this is the one we want." So,
Congrats. Why do you think? If you had to put yourself in their shoes, why do you think they fast forwarded you through that process? What do you think you did that got them excited?
a few things. I think first and foremost, I went in there with an attitude of, not in a cocky way, but an attitude of I should be here.
Good.
And
Good.
I think I would recommend that to people because, like you guys have kind of been telling us, it's not just about, you trying to sell yourself to them. It's them also trying to kind of sell themselves to you. And I think that I went in there and I was like, hey, like, I think you guys are great. I'm also great. Can we
Perfect.
be great
And when you
together?
have that in the back of your head, obviously, even if you're not saying it out loud, but you have that attitude of like, whoever gets me is gonna, they're gonna be so lucky. They're gonna have like won the lottery. Whoever gets me, it carries through in the way you're holding yourself up, your confidence, your nonverbal, the way you're answering questions. You just have this air of confidence that's very appealing. So
Mhm.
well done in spotting that and
Thank
making that little pivot. It's just a little minor thing, but I think it makes a huge difference because the
Mhm.
average job seeker does not do that.
I also did a lot of research as I was applying to this job and a few others very similar of what like questions they might ask that I could give a not typical response, so something
Yeah,
to kind
yeah,
of catch them off guard and really grab
yeah.
onto, like, oh, we weren't expecting someone to come in with this mindset on this or something else. So I think I did a good job with that because I had a few answers that at least I thought, and I guess I did good enough that I didn't think would be expecting.
You
So
did more than good enough. And I'll tell you what I love about you as well is because you and I spoke Friday or whenever it was, and I said to you, hey, put together some lists of companies you want to work for, reach out. And you're just like, I got it, I got it, I got it. And you did it and you acted. And so often it's not easy to act, right? We just get in our own way and we just like come up with excuses why we shouldn't act. And I'm as guilty of this as anyone. And it's just like, I'll do that later. Or, I'll try this. This is easy. And you just did it. And it's sort of like damn the torpedoes, right? I'm just freaking going for it. I don't care if I get rejected by all 10, but the fact that you're acting and doing it, I think is a big part of that too. So kudos to you for that, for taking charge of your situation.
thank you. I definitely struggle with slowing down, which Jordy, I did actually text you a little bit ago because before I submitted that OJT request for this one, I wanted to ask if you thought that this one would be a little bit more suited to me and the program as well.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Yeah, I'll check it out. That's great. But I love it. Listen, you made an opportunity for yourself. No one else did. You did that. So super cool.
Thank you.
Job. What else? Anyone have anything else you want to chat about? In my next life, I am not sitting in front of a computer all day. I don't know how you guys do it for 5 hours. I at least get to get up, walk around. Oh, it's brutal. We have today's our first. Anyone else here in New England or Northeast? We have our first like springish day today. It's 60 degrees, so all of our snow. We still have like a foot and a half of snow on the ground, but it's starting to melt. So I'm excited. All right. Edgardo, I asked you if you wanted to do some marketing work here. Did we chat about that? We did, right?
We did. We
Yeah.
chatted on Friday. I was about to close the loop with you. I had been typing in a reply
Oh,
on
good.
LinkedIn. I
Cool.
just wanted to be I just wanted to communicate very well, and I thought a written response was better
That's
for.
perfect. That's fine. I'll get back to you after I look at it.
Sounds good. Thanks so much.
Got it. Anybody else have anything you want to chat about? Okay, I'll let you guys go. Thank you for staying late. I always love when people hang on. They want to learn more. They're hungry. All right, guys. We'll see you mañana. Have a good night. Take care.
Thank you for your time.